Well, good afternoon. It is a cruddy, rainy day here in Arizona, and I've just been kind of going in and out of planting seeds in between the rain. And at one point, it rained so hard that I was like, I'm going to attempt to gently separate these three Punta Bandas and put them into their own spaces over here. And originally, when these three came in, I was like, oh, I'll just thin it later. But this is kind of like the extent of my Punta Bandas. I think there might be one more in there. But otherwise, I think they're all pretty much right here. And I watched Jessica from Roots and Refuge, and she separated some of these. I guess they're pretty forgiving, so we're gonna give it a shot. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to lightly just get this out of here, and the soil is very loose because it's it's just a really good blend of compost and some peat moss. But if I feel like this is getting tricky once I get into the soil, then I'm probably going to move to water, obviously, because I had so much success with separating those strawberry plants, and those strawberry plants are happy as can be. So I'm just going to kind of do a little gentle thing here where I remove it. And it's got some nice roots all the way over here that I can see, and it looks like some over here. So I'm gonna lay it on its side, and I'm still supporting those plants. Oh look, these are actually in a peat together, so that's even more interesting. But the thing is tomato plants, as you've seen or I think I've mentioned in other videos, you can plant them all the way up to their first leaves, and we're even going to take some of these leaves off, and they'll actually form roots coming out the side of the stem, and that's actually kind of happening right there where the soil still was. So I'm just going to, like I said, attempt to be really gentle, but it looks like this might end up being a job for the water, because I forgot about the fact that this was going to be in a peat pod, and so that might make it a little bit more tricky. But the point I was trying to make about being able to plant it up to its leaves is that if we have a little bit of unforgiveness with the roots, like with what we saw coming out the sides, those thin ones, that's not going to cause us a lot of trauma to our plant, because tomato plants, and not all plants are this way, so know that not all plants are this way, but tomato plants especially give you that forgiveness that their stems will actually begin to produce roots. So I'm just gonna look here, and this ball is pretty tight. So you know what? Why don't we just get a bowl of water, and we can just watch me do this right here on the counter. And that'll be a lot more gentle than, oh look, the sun might be coming out. Well, I certainly love when we get to learn together, because like I said, I totally forgot about several of these transplants being in these peat things. So, but it's good that we know how to do this from our strawberry experience. Y'all, I got a thing with clean spaces, so that's what I'm doing here. There's no need for me to do this, but for some reason I want to move this dirt out of the way. It's because my bowl is going to sit over here, and even though I'm going to put dirt in my bowl, I don't necessarily want it on the bottom of my bowl all mashed in. So we're gonna do like we did with the strawberry, and we're just gonna kind of submerge it in here and give it a little wiggle around. And this is gonna, we'll even try and be kinder to it than we were the strawberry. We'll just kind of try to keep the tops up so it doesn't get all waterlogged on the leaves. And we'll just swish this around in here. I'm kind of holding the little peat ball. I'm going to put those in between my two fingers. So that's how I've got it. I've got all the little plants in between my fingers, and I'm kind of supporting the peat ball, and I'm not mashing the peat ball around. From what I learned about the strawberries is it's almost better to just kind of swish it around like this, and as I do it like this, I can feel it start to just separate from what I'm holding. So you can really just let the water do the work for you. You don't have to, you know, I'm not wiggling the dirt right now. You can hopefully see a little bit of what my fingers are doing, and they're not doing anything but just barely supporting the plant. And now I've kind of even let go of the peat pot a little bit, and I'm just going to keep stirring it in here. And it's a slow process, you know, just like the strawberries were, but we want these plants. And now I'm holding the peat ball just a little bit looser, so that maybe I'll just go back and forth for a minute. Yeah, you can see it's getting a lot smaller. See that? Okay. So we're going to keep swishing here for a minute. And you know what? I love this concept. So I'm glad that we have a safe technique to be able to separate these plants, and I'm glad that I know this technique so that I didn't have to open that up and be like, holy goodness gracious. I mean, come on, I probably would have separated it as well as I could by breaking open the peat, which by the way looks like that now. But if I'd done that, then who knows what chaos I would have brought to. See, this is me cleaning. I want to get the dirt off the leaves. That's why the other day when I was doing the strawberries, I kept having to spray off the top. Like it matters, but that's just something unique about me. We'll use that word. Look, so we've got this much now. See? And I'm just, that going this way is really effective, maybe as opposed to when I was going this direction. But just kind of any gentle swaying. I'm not, and see, there's that temptation to want to touch it and squeeze it a little bit, but we've proven to you I'm not going to edit this part at all, even if I stutter and stumble, because I want you to know that this is just completely fluid, that at no point did I reach in there and mash the dirt with my fingers. I stirred it, I swished it, and otherwise I'm not going to touch it. I can, you know, because I really want to pinch at it and squeeze at it. But now I'm going to dunk it up and down a little bit more and see if we can get a little bit more of that off before I do get in there with it. But look how nice that is. Woo, woo. All right. So I'm going to dunk it a little bit more. But otherwise, I'm going to try and keep my hands off of it, like I said. So this is such an awesome technique. I'm so, so glad for the tinkerer's wife for having told me this, because now I feel super pumped about this transplant. And I wish I'm going to have to holler. Seth! So the only, okay, I told you I wasn't going to edit this, so sorry that you had to hear me yell for stuff, but I do need some little, hey, are my little trimming scissors out there or up there in this container? Look in this container right here.
This one?
Are there any like little purple or even, I'd rather purple, yeah. Thanks, hon. Because like I said, I want to trim off some of these leaves before I move it completely into here. So now I'm going to see if I can just open these up. Yep. I'm going to swish it just a little bit more. Whoop. And there's one right there. So I'm just going to lay it right there. And let's see how this one does. Well, let's just swish it. Just be nice to it like that. And poof, there it is. Whoop. That one wants to get wild. Okay, so I'm just going to go in and I'm going to take off these. because then that gives me a little bit more room to plant it to the top. Okay, now I'm gonna move my bowl of water over here and I can just go put that in the garden. Now I'm just gonna use, this is like from some party decoration that I recycled, but it's just, because I can't find any chopsticks, but it's just like a long thin stick. And that's all I want to make is like a long thin hole. So we're going to say to about right there is where we want it. So I'm just going to poke us a good hole in there, all the way down to there, which is pretty much where the cup is, where the cup ends. And we're going to make it good and wide. So I'm just going to guide it a little bit with this. And then I'm even going to take some of this dirt and fill it on in, because I didn't fill these cups up that high. I guess I just once again misjudged how long that root was going to be, but that's okay, because I get this dirt and I can fill it all the way on up to the neck. And then the next time when I put it in its bucket, which will be the last place for this, the only reason again why I'm moving these is because I had 3 in 1 cup, and I believe that these are my sole survivors of my attempt at growing these Punta Bandas. So I'm babying them a little bit and I'm getting them separated. So I don't know if you necessarily need to see me pot the rest of those up, and if I do show it to you, I'll just speed it up for you. But basically what I want to say is that right there was a huge success. I'm glad that because it was in that tight ball of peat from the peat plug thingies that I had originally used on some of those seedlings, I'm glad that it was easy to just soak that off in some water so that we didn't damage the root in any way. And we real quickly got the root separated and we got it replanted in just a jiff. So boom, there you go. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed watching me transplant my 3 little Punta Bandas, and it looks like the sun is wanting to peek out a little bit. So that's wonderful, because it said it was only going to be cloudy the rest of the day. So I'm grateful for a little bit of sun, and maybe I can get my new seedlings out for an hour or so and get them some sun. So I hope you have the best day ever, and I'll check in with you soon.